loose we were when we started this podcast, and how, you should really, when you start something new, be really focused and, like, oh my God, I don't want to get it wrong. But yet we used to OD on coffee that we were speaking a million miles an hour. Then we'd knock back like 2 bottles of wine and go, let's record a pod. Like, we were so relaxed at the beginning, like, and now we're so serious. And it's just funny that how we took it more seriously then, but yet we were so casual.
Do you think that was my influence? Because I was like, let's just do it. Let's just do it. And maybe you needed a bit of Dutch courage. And maybe I just needed to be off my face on coffee. Because you were like, okay, please don't have a coffee the next time. And then, of course, we got onto the stage of, okay, I just think we just can't be drinking. Like, I think we kind of got a bit like, oh my God. Like, because the aftermath of it, we still recorded the podcast, but then we were still learning all the technology side of it. So, my God, we were just a mess.
Well, even, do you remember all the wires and that time when you tripped over one, spilt a drink, and then we were like, damn it, we didn't get that on camera. It was so funny. I mean, it was just, what a time to be alive.
Why was there so many wires though? Because now we're able to do it within seconds. Like, I was able to just finish work right now and come straight into the waiting area and just set up within like, a minute. Where did all the wires go? Why were we entwined?
Because we had 2 lights, 2 microphones in one room. Like, we do it remotely now, so it's halved. Whereas back then we were doing it in the same room. So, but yeah, I was just thinking about it today, how loose we are. And to celebrate, I'm having a rosé for this episode.
Oh, I'm a bit jealous. I'm not going to lie. I'm still a bit wired from work. So I just don't know where this podcast is going to go, but let's fucking do it.
But it just makes me think, I saw something the other day of this whole enjoy being in your becoming. And that kind of threw me back to those first few days of the podcast and how, we really were enjoying becoming half a sandwich. And just in everything else we do, like, we really do try and enjoy the process, not just the result.
I feel like I got to that point at like podcast 21, like, and then I was like, oh yeah, we're sailing the ship now. And then it was like, no, we crashed again. And then we got to like podcast like near 50 and we're just like, we got this. Like, let's just get on. Let's just talk. Let's just do it. And then I feel like I crashed again. And now it's like, same thing. So because I think, do you think the podcast has us outside of our comfort zone a lot more than, I think it's out of my comfort zone a lot more than just coming to the salon and doing hair. And it's a good thing. I like being outside my comfort zone, even though it freaks me out. I've been through a lot of emotions, but it's good. Like, I mean, we've got plenty of examples of me freaking out, let's face it, being outside my comfort zone with the whole technology side of it, like where you're like, right, screen share, I'm going to talk you through it. I'm like, I'm such a fucking stupid bitch. And it's like, the feelings you get when you are like outside that comfort zone. And when you're saying in the becoming, do you mean like in general, like, because I feel a shift at the moment. And I actually said it to a client today where I feel like I don't know where it's going, but I'm okay with letting it happen. So I'm not overthinking it. But there's a shift happening where it's going to become something. I just don't know what that is yet.
Well, yeah, that. And also, you can get more specific. So when you have a goal, like us with the podcast, our first year, we wanted to get established. We wanted, I was talking to you this morning about how it's time to upgrade all our design and start getting consistent with our fonts and, like just small things like that have a big impact because we're building a brand. Like, very much, this is a new era for both of us because having a podcast versus having a physical business is different because we're going into that influencer realm and neither of us have actually done that before. We might pretend we are on Instagram, but we've not actually been in that world. And that world is massive, and it's all about looks and style. And, you know, even we had a conversation last year about, you know, you were like saying, I don't want to wear any makeup and, you know, do all this. And it's like, yeah, that's great when we're famous. But to get famous, we need to do that stuff. So
Well, and
it's
you can see.
I know you don't listen.
I do not. I do not listen because I have still not been wearing makeup because I don't know if it turned into more of a stingy thing because Sandra's parents arrive from the UK tomorrow and they're bringing me the makeup I want. It's just so much cheaper over there. She asked me what I wanted and I was like, okay, screw it. I'm going to makeup. So yeah, I mean, I don't look terrible without it. I wear mascara though. Absolutely. But yeah, I'm excited.
You it's just funny because like you never listen to me with anything, and then like months later you'll be like, yeah, you're right. But like I even wrote you an email for the manifesting challenge, and I put all the description. Like, I knew you were super busy and you were super stressed, and I didn't want you to procrastinate over getting these done because I knew how much passion you had for them. So I, did as much as I could possibly for you. And I even sent you an email of, right, just set your chair up like this, try and think this kind of vibe for the videos so it matches mine. And I gave you like all these instructions. And then at the end, I put, you're probably going to ignore all this. And if you do, that's totally fine. Just giving it to you to try and make life a bit easier.
I didn't even get to the end of the email to read that part. And I did nothing you said. I did nothing.
Great. Yeah.
My video is the polar opposite to yours. I was like, what? And I still had in my head, well, she wouldn't be happy if I did it there. And she's definitely not going to be happy with the background of this. But it trumps the part with the lighting. So the lighting is better with this background. So
the lighting is possibly the only thing I can edit. Whereas the others I can't.
You said that after. You mean you can't edit out the garlic? I know. I've got some people at the door. Hi, and they're trying to get in, and I'm clearly recording a podcast. Hi.
No, I just think it's so funny the way people just walk in when you're sat there like microphone. Just say no. Do a no symbol.
I feel terrible. They look quite official. Okay, they look quite official.
Well, they're going to have to wait.
Well, they're after walking away now. Oh my God, that my whole body has gone into like, I have to open the door, but I don't. You don't. It's okay, girl.
We had this conversation before about saying no.
You'd be so proud of me today, though. Like, I did have a moment where I felt like I was being challenged with the old Grainne of like trying to help everyone and make sure everyone's okay. And I decided, I said no to something today, and I'm so proud of myself. I had a war in my head all day, but I felt happy when I made the decision of the no. And I went, well done, Grainne, because old Grainne would have fucked that up real bad and made everyone pay for it. Everyone would have paid for that decision.
Well, I mean, I think we're in totally different place now. Like, we're so refined and efficient. And, I do think that is massively like a reason towards our success, like with the podcast, with the salon, with the digital marketing business, with the retreats, everything that's going on in our lives. We have made it so efficient that we can be super fast. And we've talked about this before about how, I don't leave it more than 24 hours to reply to a client. But, everything that I have in place, you're very good with, you took your phone number off so that you could accommodate social media messages as well as website inquiries. We've made our processes so refined and efficient that we're able to be fast at what we do, which means the customer or client is happy.
Yeah. I think it takes a lot of practice, but and maybe trial and error. But yeah, you just gotta be fast. Because I think it builds up pretty quickly if you're not fast, and then that leads in then to the freeze mode, and you procrastinate, and all of those things. And it's pretty hard to get your finger out with that. And then you end up disappointing people. For me personally, because we deal with obviously people on the other side of emails and inquiries and stuff. So yeah, refining it, having a routine, having habits. And I mean, you're probably even faster than I am. Like, you say things like, you fucking bitch on the podcast. You're just like, and this is what we're going to do. And I'm like, oh my God, what? Since when?
Seriously though, like, delay is where opportunities go to die. And we make sure, well, I throw you a ball and you catch it with a net every time. We don't let opportunities go to die. There you have it.
Oh, she's giving me the finger and all with that
it's
one.
like
I
drop
love
mic.
it.
Boom.
Yeah. Do you know, it's so funny they've come to the door and all I can think about right now is I just wonder what they want, because they looked like hairdressers. Like, their hair was full on. They were wearing black. They looked like hairdressers. So intrigued. But it is, and I wondered, did they wait until after 5 o'clock on my opening hours to actually come in and talk to me? But that, I mean, it's irrelevant. I'm just letting you know how I'm all feeling right now.
Oh, your anxiety. Do you know what? You've got a website, and on the website there's an email address. So
speaking about trying to keep up with it, no. I'm like, but they're right there. No, you're dead right. Absolutely. Yours is quite refined though. Like, I mean, but that's what you do as part of your job for other people, is it not? Like, what, everything that you do, you're about, like, less clicks. Like, you're the one that helped me set up all that process. I mean, I know I had to want to do it. But yeah, you helped me do it for sure. So I'm very grateful for that, because like, it makes my life more streamlined.
yeah. And I mean, it is really, essentially what I do and what I create puts systems in place, but systems people wouldn't have thought of putting there, like with the advertising. So guaranteeing there's traffic coming to a website. Like, you can launch a brand new website, but if no one knows it's there, what do you expect them all to, like, get a letter in the mail that morning going, hey, did you know they've got a new website? Like, no one's going to know it's there. So, and then if you don't do all the right things on the back end of it, then it doesn't even come up when people search for it. So yeah, I suppose, like, a lot of what I do is that. I mean, even like, I'm talking to a client at the moment, and incredibly, they're based in Croatia. So that's very exciting for me. On my holiday planning for the year, I'm thinking,
Business trip.
I've never been to Croatia. But yeah, we're just talking about how, because he would, although he's based in Australia, he would like to have, payments taken on the website for deposits for trips in euros. And so, when he's got different bank accounts and people are booking from all around the world, unless you know how to do that, which I do, you need someone to come in and just go, oh, I know how to do that, rather than you spending hours researching it, playing around with things. They don't work. It's kind of how I feel at the moment with the courses. Like, it's my new realm, and, that uncomfortableness of learning something new, which all about.
Yeah, but how does that make you feel?
I mean, I'm kind of excited, but it's frustrating because, like, I build websites for a living, but I'm building a website on a platform that's not necessarily not the same, but, there's a whole different objective. It's very much a funnel, and I want it to be laid out exactly as I want it, which I'd be able to do if I was building on my own platforms. But because I'm using something new, I'm like, oh, there must be a way to do this. I know you can do this. How do I do it? And I'm trying to figure out their system to manipulate it.
And the other day when we were talking about you doing the courses and learning all this new funnel stuff, I was like, I'm just going to sit back. I'm going to enjoy the new things that I'm implementing. And then you're going to do it for me. I was like, how fantastic. Because I could have gone down two roads. I could have gone down, oh my God, Charlotte's doing it. It's what I want to do. Like, I should be doing it. Or, oh my God, I need to get my courses together. And I could have gone down that route. Or I could be like, okay, I've got this, this, and this. And as you said on the phone the other day, I should be concentrating on also getting time back. So then eventually it does lead into all that. And when that happens, you will have your funnel set up. You will have already, the kinks, the quirks, and the trial and error is already done. It's perfect, really.
I love it. We took my advice, but we use the skills once I've fallen over a few times. And by the way, can we just rewind a second? So yeah, we had a really deep conversation the other morning. And it's mental that we literally explore so much on these episodes every week, and yet we still have time to discuss totally different things pretty much every day of the week before we start work. What a good way to start the day, though, is, with such intense conversations. But yeah, we were talking about how, you're feeling the pressure at the moment. You're trying to grow a new business with Sandro. So the business you currently have is holding everything up and supporting everything, which requires you to be there a lot, which means you have no energy, you have no time. And then on top of that, you're now getting a new member of the team, which is going to fuel the problem solving situation of that. And you're going to be renting out the back rooms. You're going to need workmen to come in and help set that up. So, all of this added up, we were talking about it. And then you're like, I know I should be doing courses and I don't know what. And, there's like a list as long as you can imagine. Then we just kind of said, well, your goal shouldn't be courses or any of that other list. It should be time. Keep it simple, stupid. The KISS.
And then after we had discussed that, I thought to myself, what did I write down for my winter goals at the goal party? And I wrote down hibernation. Winter for hibernation, like tying up all the ribbons that were loose over the summer and the autumn, and then going back into the spring, starting up that fire again. But having just that little tiny in between of hibernation in the winter. Because I tell you what, you can't be rushing anywhere when you live in Athol. Because I can tell you what, there was about 2 foot of fucking ice on my windscreen this morning.
It was cold, wasn't it? I've been looking at wall heaters all day because I'm like, oh my God, that was cold.
We gone anywhere in a hurry, and we're just not in that like routine yet to be going out to turn on the car. And my car just takes forever. It's just such a little tiny old falling apart Mazda. So I did, and I looked back, and it's funny, isn't it? Like how we had that conversation, and it's like, okay, I should be concentrating on time. And when I say time, like people are out there probably thinking like, going, what do you mean time? It's like, well, when you're working like up to 70-hour weeks, time is just making it home for 6 o'clock, instead of 9. So like that kind of thing.
No, you need, that's you refining your life. The goal should be time. Massively. I've said to you, I feel like the universe has totally worked in my favor. The start of the year was absolutely pumping, that it filled my bank account, that I could take a step back, take a few days to focus on the courses and start recording them and growing them. And now I'm at the stage where I'm literally just about to launch them. And it's like, oh my God, thank you, universe, for giving me that time. But what it also gave me was time to, if anyone could see outside looking in, was time of me sitting on my sun lounger having my coffee in the morning, or me, finishing.
Sun lounger has so many shouts.
I'm still doing it. Still doing it in the winter. But that time is really important for me because I'm thinking, like I said this to you when I first started the business, you need thinking time. Like you need to step away from the chaos and let your brain run. And I actually Googled, after our last episode, Googled a vow of silence and the benefits. Because, you've got to do your 10 days of silence. And what it brings is clarity and focus and, so much, because your brain is empty because you're not thinking of what to say. So suddenly you'll be able to think clearly. And that's what I mean by time. Time that you're not, when you used to start at 11 o'clock on a Wednesday in the morning, you weren't necessarily doing work stuff, but you were getting your coffee. You were having time to relax. and your brain to just chill out for a minute so that it could clear the fog and the ideas come through. Look at me. I'm like
Look
a
at
mental
you.
growth person. But
Give
do you
me
know
more
what?
of
It's,
this.
it's I seriously think it's another secret as well as the speed. It's a secret to my success in everything that I've done is allowing time to think.
But like, is that, I call that CEO time. Like, so like CEOs, they go away to relax, to think. Like, they're the idea person. They're the people that are trying to predict what's coming for the company. They're the people trying to get ahead of the economy. They're the people that are trying to come up with these ideas, to implement, to keep the fucking boat sailing forward, not sitting still, not going backwards. And when you have that downtime, it's like the 5 a.m. club explains it really well. The billionaire
Mm.
only runs his company from inside the building 6 months of the year, because he comes back with all these fresh ideas. And it's not that he's untapped from the business, he's still tapped in. But he said it's the key to actually the success of the business. And when you're away, people step up in ways that they might not if you're there. So
Yeah. I
the
mean, this
thing,
is all talking as if you have this massive team of people that you're managing. Most
no,
of
but you
us
still need it.
are
You still
the
need it.
accountant, marketing person, the operations manager, the chief
Mm.
accountant, we're everything. So like the CEO, chief executive officer, that's a title that, but I get what you mean, like with the 5 a.m. club and stuff. And like my trips to Italy, where everyone used to say I was running away, it really is just to refocus.
Yeah, well, I mean, literally, he goes to Italy.
Yeah.
That's where it goes. Like, when I was reading that chapter, I was like, oh my God, it's fucking Charlotte. She's never going to let this down reading this chapter. She's going to be like, it's me. That's what I was doing. You were all been like, oh, she's running away. She's running away. She's getting herself in more debt. And no, Charlotte was just going to have a good old
Clear my brain.
time. Yeah, clear your brain. Yeah. I think it's a great idea. I think that's how they keep us on the hamster wheel, though, is the fact that you get 4-week holidays. You have 9 to 5, 5 days a week. Like, 2
You have
days
no time.
actually, you have no time to clear your brain and do the things you want to do with your family and do the things you want to do at home and implement into the business rather than working always in it. You want to work on it. It's so important. And the thing, this is what annoys me as well with hairdressing, that we were never taught. You start work, like paid work time starting is, let's say for me, it's 9:30 until 5 o'clock. But actually, that's when I start doing clients. That's not when I start work. 5 o'clock is when I stop doing clients. It's not when I stop doing work. I then have to pack down the salon, clean it, and get it ready for the next day. Close up, lock up, and go home. So like, Sandro's always like, what time you finish? And I always be like, oh, 5 o'clock. And it comes to like, he's like, where the fuck are you? And I'm like, well, I did my last client. Like, I mean, I finished my clients, and then you're backtracking. Now I'm just like, my last client is 4:30. I'd be home anywhere between 5 and 6. So
Yeah.
it's
And
really
that
important.
it's like that in a lot of industries. Like even, when I worked in agencies, we're supposed to be at our desk ready to work at 9 or 8:30 whenever we started. So then, and they made it very clear that, coming in, saying good morning to everyone and going to make a coffee and spending 20 minutes in the kitchen chatting to everyone about what they watched on TV last night is not start time. I mean, it helped with me because I was so anal about the car parking. There was, for minions, there was only a certain amount of spaces in the car park for normal people, not like, senior managers. So we either had to park on the street, which was insane. I mean, this is the UK, so it's not like New Zealand where there's just, endless roads to park on. Like, it's like being in London. And, I really learned how to parallel park during those years because the tiniest spaces you'd have to squeeze into that's still a 20-minute walk from the office. So I would make sure that I was there at like bloody 7 a.m. to start at 9 a.m. because I wanted the space in the car park.
Well, that worked out perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does actually work out quite well sometimes. Your habit, your little
My
lovely
anal habit.
personality. Your habits. Yeah, it
I
does.
will not park on the road.
That is exactly right. I had an interesting conversation with someone last night, and when I was renting a chair in Queenstown, I was working with her when she was working for the salon. And there was so much of me in her at that time when I was in that real, I didn't know I was about to jump off the cliff. And my body knew though, because my body was like, "Rawr!" Like I would say things to people. And, to you, I was just like, oh my God, fuck this and fuck that. And, when she used to come to me for advice, I'd be like, well, why don't you go talk to your boss? And like, you've got three options, you can hand her those three options, but ultimately it's up to her what options she picks. And she had a chat. Anyway, they ended up where they ended up. And as time has gone on and so forth, she has since gone out on her own and she's a different human being. She jumped off the cliff. She caught up with what her body was trying to tell her. And now she's reflecting as I did. And we had a conversation last night and it was the first time I told her that I could see it a mile away, but you have to get to that point yourself. Because
Yeah.
she was like, you give such good advice. And I was like, because I'd been there. I had been at the edge of the cliff. I was fighting it. Like, what was it? What's that word? Like, I was resisting and I was blaming everything that's around me, bar the fact that I had just outgrown the position that I was in and I wanted more responsibility. I wanted more freedom within those decisions for that responsibility and etc. And I remember just watching her in the salon and she'd come and ask me some questions and all the rest. And I just remember thinking, I'm just going to try and give her the best constructive advice I could possibly give her and not tell her what she should do, because that was good for me. Like, I don't know what's good for her. I don't know why her body is screaming to get the fuck out, but it was. And there was nothing wrong with her environment or how she was being treated or anything. It was her deep down inside. She was on the edge of the cliff without even realizing it. And, you have to throw yourself off. And last night she was shocked when I told her. She was like, "Oh my God, like you thought you what? Like, why didn't you just say something?" And I was like, "You can't though, like, because my journey and your journey are different, but I could see you were screaming to grow and get bigger and do your own thing and all the rest of it." And we all learn in our own ways, but it was really interesting seeing her reaction last night to that, because I hope it gave her a bit of reflection on that for herself.
Yeah.
So when you get that feeling in your body and you get that real antsy, like even now at the moment with like changes happening in the salon, I have this like lingering feeling of a bit of antsiness, which can turn very quickly into crazy. And, if you're in front of me, you're getting it. So I'm trying to control that and I'm trying to learn from my past and be like, no, that's because changes are happening and change is happening and it can be uncomfortable. So I'm trying to be comfortable with the uncomfortable of the unknown. Like, will it work out? Won't it work out? Like, don't worry about any of that. Just let it flow. It's all coming together and just let it happen and just be open to that uncomfortableness and just be prepared as best I possibly can.
But even like with that uncomfortableness, as we touched on earlier, like, oh my God, the meltdown that you had last week, which I'm going through with the courses, but yours was extreme. And, we keep kind of like saying how amazingly far we've both come with learning, about podcasts and about editing and all of that audio side that, neither of us had done before. And yeah, it decided just to shit all over your face last week. You were so happy, like so happy when we recorded the podcast and you're like, got such a good day planned. I'm going to edit everything and then I'm going to go home and I'm going to do this and I'm so happy. And then I just slowly got the angry, depressed messages throughout the day that spanned over 6 hours until you went, can you just do it?
6 hours trying to put the podcast up last weekend. And I'm like, I'm doing nothing fucking different. I'm trying to troubleshoot. Oh my God, this is so frustrating. And I was still kind of positive. I decided to do a bit of a dance, release some energy. I was like, it's going to do it this time. It's going to upload. It's going to do it. And it got to like the release at 6 o'clock. And I was like, I don't care anymore. Like, I was in the salon, like, and I had such a, the reason I was so
You
excited
were
at
just
the
so
start,
happy the earlier of
I
the
was so
day.
happy because I was after such a huge week and I was holding it together. I was still doing it. Everything on my list. The last thing to do on the fucking list was just get the podcast scheduled to come out at 6 p.m. on Sunday. 6 hours later, I could not get the fucking thing up. And eventually, and then what's more is your phone call set me over the edge altogether. And you were just like,
I
well,
know.
you can
I felt
do my
terrible.
week. Oh my God. I was like, are you fucking punishing me? I'm on death's door right now. And I had a visitor come, like a visitor came to the house at 8 o'clock. And I said to him the day after, because he stayed the night, and I was like, Max, do you know what? I never even offered you a cup of tea or coffee last night because, quite frankly, I didn't give a fuck if you even had one. Because that's the mood I was in. I was just on the couch. I was, you know, when you're so tired, you can't even take yourself to bed because you're too tired to even think about taking yourself to bed. That's what last Sunday did. And yeah, our phone call, I was like, oh my God, I know she's trying to be funny, but she can't do funny at the right time sometimes.
Yeah, I didn't even have a chance to say I'm joking because you just went into this massive, like, you're gonna make me cry. I was like, oh
No,
my God,
that's
can I
it. I
just
was like,
say
I'm
I
gonna
was
hang up
joking?
now and have a cry. I'm gonna hang up now and have a cry. I was like, are you punishing me for spending 6 hours trying to put this up there? And I was like, and I said in the message, even if you can just have a quick look and just see where the problem is, and I'll go back in and do it. And then I was like, okay, you found the problem. I'll just pick myself up off the ground from crying and I'll fucking still do it. And you're like, well, I'm doing it now. I was like, well, do you know what then? Go fuck yourself.
Well, I didn't know whether that was the problem. I didn't, because your problem was the last step that you couldn't do. So I didn't know. I found what could have been the problem from the first step. So that
Yeah.
might have rippled across, but I don't know. So I just was doing it, and you were clearly about to, break down. So I had to do something. So I did it. But then, it is sod's law because I'd said to you in the week, because, normally we record a few days before just in case there's any problems. So we've got time to fix anything or re-record if we need to, ready to go out on Sunday. And you were like, Sunday morning. And I was like, are you sure it's your week? And you're like, yeah.
I remember there was choice. I had to say yes. It was Sunday morning or nothing at all. I worked 9 to 9 all last week. It was outside. The only time I was free were outside your hours because you have you have your hours as well. You're so accommodating to me, but I always try to make sure it's not too late or not too early because you won't do before 9 o'clock because
No, I'd
that's
always do it in the evening.
Oh yeah, but
Anyway.
9 o'clock I finished work every day last week.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm in bed by now.
Yeah, no, you're not doing that. That's crazy. No one wants to do that. That's
But,
outrageous. Imagine talking to me. Talking to me.
we've been working really hard, like, behind the scenes on our social media and just trying to get the word out there and like really kind of push everything lately. And it was funny because I was, I love to anyway, like look back, I do this all the time, look back over, our past reels and just think, oh my God, look how far we've come. And I love it. But then I started to notice a trend that you're actually more pale, more white in summer than you are in winter.